We don't have that model for people like you." The words hang in the air like smoke. The tall black man in jeans and a simple shirt freezes. His fingers are still touching the shiny laptop on the display. A $15,000 watch peeks out from his sleeve. The sales rep never bothered to look at it. "That's interesting," the customer says quietly. He looks at the wall behind the rep. "Because I can see 12 of them right there." The sales rep's smile gets tight. "Those are for our premium customers." Something changes in the customer's face. Not anger, something worse. He pulls out his phone. The logo on it matches the store's logo perfectly. What the sales rep doesn't know is simple. He just lied to the man who built this entire company from nothing. 3 years ago, Marcus Williams was nobody. Today he owns TechWorld, a billion-dollar chain with 200 stores. But right now he's just another black customer being lied to in his own store. How did we get here? Let's go back. It started with numbers that didn't make sense. Marcus sat in his corner office looking at reports that made his head spin. The company was making record profits. Customer reviews were mostly good. Everything looked perfect on paper. But Sarah Chen, his head of HR, had different numbers. "Look at this," Sarah said, spreading papers on his desk. "Our black employees quit 3 times more than white employees. Same jobs, same pay, same training." Marcus stared at the charts. "That can't be right. It gets worse," Sarah continued. "Black customers complain about service twice as much as others, but only at certain stores." The patterns were clear but hidden, like someone was being very careful to cover their tracks. Marcus had built TechWorld after being turned down for jobs because of his name. He knew what discrimination looked like, but this was happening inside his own company, and he had no idea how. "Who's in charge of these problem stores?" Marcus asked. Sarah pulled up another file. "Most of them report to Jake Morrison. He's your regional VP. Been with us for 2 years. Jake Morrison. Marcus remembered hiring him. The guy had great references and big promises. He said he could increase sales by 20%, and he did. But now Marcus wondered how. "I want to visit some stores," Marcus said. Unannounced. "You can't," Sarah replied. "Jake always knows when you're coming. He sends word ahead. The stores put on their best behavior." Marcus felt trapped. His own company was hiding something from him. The man he trusted to run operations might be the problem, but how could he prove it? That's when the idea hit him. "What if they didn't know it was me?" Marcus asked. Sarah looked confused. "What do you mean?" "What if I went undercover? As a regular customer, then maybe as a job applicant. See what really happens when nobody thinks the boss is watching." Sarah's eyes went wide. "That's crazy and dangerous. What if someone recognizes you?" Marcus thought about it. He'd been doing more TV interviews lately. His face was on the company website, but most store employees had never met him in person. The stores were in different cities, different states. "I could change my look," Marcus said. "Grow a beard, wear glasses, dress down." The more he thought about it, the more it made sense. The only way to see the truth was to experience it himself. Sarah was quiet for a long moment. "If you do this, we need to be careful. Legal will have to approve it. We'll need recordings, evidence." Marcus nodded. "Whatever it takes. If there's discrimination in my company, I'm going to root it out." 2 weeks later, Marcus barely recognized himself in the mirror. The beard made him look older. The glasses changed his whole face. The casual clothes made him look like any other customer. He chose Phoenix for his first test. TechWorld's Phoenix store had good sales numbers but the worst customer complaints in the region. It was also Jake Morrison's favorite location, the one he visited most often. Marcus walked into his own store as a stranger. The first thing he noticed was the energy. It felt cold, unfriendly. White customers got immediate attention. He stood by the laptops for 10 minutes before anyone acknowledged him. When a sales rep finally came over, the treatment was obviously different. The rep, a young white guy named Tyler, barely made eye contact. "Can I help you find something?" Tyler asked, but his tone said he'd rather be somewhere else. "I'm looking for a gaming laptop," Marcus said. "Something high-end." Tyler's expression changed. "Gaming laptops are pretty expensive. Maybe you'd like to see our budget models over here." Marcus felt his stomach drop. The assumption was clear. Black customer equals small budget. Actually, I'd like to see the Aurora Pro X7, Marcus said. That was TechWorld's most expensive laptop. $3,000. Tyler's smile became fake. Oh, that's a really premium machine. Are you sure you want to see something that high-end? The insult was wrapped in politeness, but it was still an insult. Yes, Marcus said firmly. I'd like to see it. Tyler reluctantly walked him to the premium section, but he didn't demonstrate any features, didn't explain the benefits, just stood there like he was doing Marcus a favor. Then a white couple walked up. Tyler immediately lit up. Good afternoon. Looking for anything specific today? For the next 20 minutes, Marcus watched Tyler give the couple a full presentation. He showed them every feature, offered accessories, even brought them coffee. Marcus asked to see the Aurora again. Tyler sighed. Like I said, it's really expensive, and we're actually running low on stock. That's when Marcus walked to the display wall, counted 12 Aurora laptops sitting right there, all in stock, all available. And that's when Tyler said the words that would change everything. We don't have that model for people like you. Marcus walked out of that Phoenix store with his heart pounding. In 30 years of facing racism, he'd never felt this betrayed. This was his company, his employees, his customers being treated like this. But one store wasn't proof of a system. He needed more evidence. Marcus called Sarah from his hotel room. It's worse than we thought, but I need to go deeper. What do you mean? I need to get hired. Work inside the system. See how deep this goes. Sarah was quiet for a long moment. Marcus, that's incredibly risky. So is letting this continue. The next morning, Marcus drove to the Scottsdale TechWorld store. It was 20 miles from Phoenix, but managed by the same regional office. He walked in wearing his disguise and asked to speak to the manager about job openings. The manager, Brian Matthews, was a thin white man in his 40s. He looked Marcus up and down before inviting him to the back office. So you want to work retail? Matthews said. Not really a question. I have 5 years of electronics experience, Marcus replied, handing over a fake resume Sarah's team had created. I'm good with customers. Matthews barely glanced at the resume. Customer service is definitely important, but the key to success here is understanding customer types. Customer types? Matthews leaned forward. Different customers have different needs, different spending habits. You have to learn to read people quickly. The coded language was obvious to Marcus, but he played dumb. What do you mean? Well, let's say a teenager walks in versus a business executive. Who do you approach first? The first person who came in, Marcus answered. Matthews smiled like he was talking to a child. That's nice in theory. But in the real world, you focus your energy on customers who are actually going to buy something expensive. And how do you tell who those are? Matthews studied Marcus carefully. You'll learn. We have training materials that teach you to spot high-value customers versus other types. Marcus got the job, starting Monday. Minimum wage plus commission on sales over $500. As he left, Matthews called after him. Oh, and Marcus? The training materials I mentioned? Those are for internal use only. Never discuss them outside the store. That weekend, Marcus met with Sarah and their lawyer, David Park. They were setting up a secure system to record everything Marcus experienced. The watch has a camera, David explained, showing Marcus a device that looked exactly like a regular smartwatch. The glasses have audio recording. Everything uploads automatically to a secure server only we can access. Sarah looked worried. Are you sure about this? If they figure out who you are... They won't, Marcus said. And if they do, we'll deal with it then. Monday morning, Marcus walked into the Scottsdale store for his first day of work. Matthews introduced him to the team during the morning meeting. This is Marcus Johnson, Matthews announced. He'll be starting in sales today. Marcus shook hands with 5 other sales associates. 3 white, 1 Asian, 1 Latino. He was the only black employee on the sales floor. After the meeting, Matthews pulled him aside. "Let me show you how things really work here," Matthews said, leading him to a computer terminal. "This is our customer management system." On the screen was what looked like a normal point-of-sale system. But Matthews clicked a button Marcus had never seen before. The screen changed completely. "This is the advanced interface," Matthews explained. "Only senior staff can access it." The new screen showed customer profiles with codes Marcus didn't recognize. Next to each name was a number from 1 to 10 and a color, green, yellow, or red. "What do the codes mean?" Marcus asked. Matthews glanced around to make sure no one was listening. "Green customers get full service. Yellow customers get standard service. Red customers," he shrugged, "don't waste too much time unless it's really slow." Marcus felt sick. "How do customers get assigned colors?" "The system analyzes their information. Purchase history, zip code, credit score, demographics." Matthews said the last word carefully. Marcus understood. Demographics meant race. What if a red customer wants to buy something expensive? Matthews smiled. "That's where sales skill comes in. You steer them toward products in their range. No point showing a Ferrari to someone who needs a Honda." For the next hour, Matthews showed Marcus the advanced training materials. They were disgusting. A whole manual on how to discriminate while looking helpful. One section was called Customer Optimization. It taught employees to quickly assess customers based on appearance and behavior. Another section was Product Matching. Code for steering minorities toward cheaper items. The worst part was a section called Maintaining Standards. It explicitly instructed employees to avoid spending time with customers who were unlikely to make premium purchases due to demographic factors. Marcus memorized every page. His hidden camera captured everything. During his lunch break, Marcus sat in his car and called Sarah. "It's systematic," he said quietly. "They have training materials, special software. The whole thing is designed to discriminate. Can you get copies? Already recording everything." "But Sarah, this isn't just one store. This system is too sophisticated. Someone higher up designed this." That afternoon, Marcus worked his first shift on the sales floor. Matthews paired him with Tyler, the same rep who had refused to show him laptops the week before. Tyler didn't recognize him. The beard and glasses were a perfect disguise. "Stick with me today," Tyler said. "I'll show you how to maximize your commissions." For the next 4 hours, Marcus watched Tyler demonstrate the discrimination system in action. When white customers entered, Tyler immediately approached with enthusiasm. When minorities entered, he barely acknowledged them. Around 3 p.m., a well-dressed black woman came in looking for laptops for her daughter's college. "I'll handle this one," Tyler said to Marcus. "Watch and learn." Marcus followed Tyler to the customer. The woman, who introduced herself as Dr. Patricia Williams, explained that she needed a high-performance laptop for engineering software. Tyler nodded politely but immediately steered her toward budget models. "These are very popular with students," Tyler said, showing her laptops that cost under $800. "Great value for basic schoolwork." "Actually, I need something more powerful," Dr. Williams said. "She'll be running CAD software and doing video editing." Tyler's expression didn't change. "These models can handle most student needs. Anything more powerful might be overkill." Marcus watched Dr. Williams's face change. She knew she was being dismissed. "Can I see the Aurora Pro X7?" she asked directly. "That's really more than most students need," Tyler replied. "Plus, it's quite expensive." Dr. Williams straightened her shoulders. "I'm a surgeon. I can afford it. I'd like to see it, please." Reluctantly, Tyler walked her to the premium section. But he didn't demonstrate any features, didn't explain the benefits. Just stood there checking his phone while she examined the laptop herself. After 20 minutes, Dr. Williams left without buying anything. "See?" Tyler said to Marcus. "Waste of time. I could have been helping real customers." Marcus felt rage building inside him. Dr. Williams was exactly the kind of customer who could afford premium products. But Tyler's racism had cost the store a $3,000 sale. That evening, Marcus met with Sarah at a coffee shop far from the store. "I got it all on video," Marcus said. "The training materials, the customer interaction, everything." Sarah reviewed the footage on Marcus's phone. Her face grew pale. "This is smoking gun evidence of systematic discrimination. We could shut this down tomorrow." "Not yet," Marcus said. "I need to find out how high this goes. Is this just Jake Morrison's region, or is it company-wide? What's your next step?" Marcus thought about Tyler's confidence. The way Matthews had shown him the system without hesitation, this wasn't something they were hiding or ashamed of. "They think this is official company policy," Marcus said, "which means it came from someone with real authority. Jake Morrison. Maybe, or maybe someone even higher. I need to keep working. Get access to regional communications. Find the paper trail." Sarah looked worried. "How long can you keep this up?" Marcus thought about Dr. Williams walking out of the store, about all the customers like her who had been treated badly in his company. "As long as it takes..." 3 weeks into his undercover job, Marcus had seen enough to make him sick. The discrimination wasn't random or accidental. It was a carefully designed system that infected every part of the store. The schedule was the first thing he noticed. Marcus always got the worst shifts, late evenings and slow weekday mornings when few customers came in. Meanwhile, white employees got the busy weekend and evening shifts when big sales happened. "Why do I always get closing shifts?" Marcus asked Matthews during his second week. Matthews didn't even look up from his paperwork. "New employees start with less desirable shifts. You'll work your way up." But Marcus noticed that Jason, a white college student hired the same week, already worked prime hours. When Marcus asked about it, Matthews just shrugged. "Jason has retail experience." Marcus had listed retail experience on his application too, but apparently that didn't matter when you were black. The commission structure was even worse. TechWorld employees earned base pay plus commission on sales over $500. But Marcus discovered that minority employees were steered away from expensive items, which meant lower commissions. During his third week, Marcus overheard a conversation that made everything clear. He was restocking inventory in the back room when he heard Matthews on the phone with someone from the regional office. "The new diversity hire is working out fine," Matthews said. "He follows instructions and doesn't cause problems." Diversity hire. Marcus felt his jaw clench. That's how they saw him. Not as a qualified employee, but as someone they had to hire to meet quotas. Matthews continued. "Yeah, I'm keeping him on evening shifts like you suggested. Don't want him interfering with premium customer interactions during peak hours." Marcus quietly moved closer to hear better. "The system is working great," Matthews said. "Our premium attachment rate is up 15% since we implemented the customer optimization protocols. Jake's going to be thrilled with these numbers." Jake Morrison. Marcus's regional VP was definitely involved. "Right, the training materials stay internal only," Matthews continued. "Corporate HR doesn't need to see our advanced techniques." After Matthews hung up, Marcus stayed hidden until he was sure the manager was gone. Then he called Sarah. "I need to access regional communications," Marcus told her. "There's a whole system I haven't seen yet." That weekend, Sarah's tech team gave Marcus advanced recording equipment. A pen that recorded video, a phone charger that captured audio. Even his employee badge had a hidden camera. Monday morning, Marcus arrived early for his shift. The store was empty except for Matthews, who was in his office doing paperwork. Marcus knocked on the door. "Can I ask you something about the customer system?" Marcus said. "I'm trying to improve my sales numbers." Matthews looked pleased. "Sure, come in. Always happy to help someone who wants to learn." Matthews pulled up the customer management system on his computer. "What specific questions do you have?" "Well, I notice some customers get different treatment than others. Is there a way to know which customers are more likely to buy expensive items?" "Smart question," Matthews said, clicking through several screens. "That's exactly what the optimization system is for." What Marcus saw next was worse than anything he'd imagined. The customer profiling system didn't just track purchase history. It explicitly categorized customers by race. See this column? Matthews pointed to a section labeled Demographic Profile. A1 customers are our best prospects. C3 customers are, well, let's just say don't spend too much time with them unless the store is completely empty. Marcus forced himself to stay calm. How do the demographic profiles get assigned? The system analyzes multiple factors, Matthews explained. Zip code, credit history, previous purchases, and some other data points that help predict spending behavior. What kind of other data points? Matthews glanced around even though they were alone. Well, the system can access social media profiles, photos from driver's licenses, things like that. Marcus understood. They were literally profiling customers based on their race. This is incredible, Marcus said, trying to sound impressed rather than disgusted. Who developed this system? Jake Morrison's team, Matthews said proudly. Jake's a genius at understanding customer psychology. This system has revolutionized our sales approach. Marcus spent the rest of his shift documenting everything. The customer codes, the profiling criteria, the way employees were trained to implement discrimination while appearing helpful. But he still needed the source. The communications between Jake Morrison and the stores. The original training materials. Proof that this came from the top. That night, Marcus stayed late to close the store. Matthews had given him a key and alarm code, standard procedure for closing employees. What Matthews didn't know was that Marcus planned to use that access for more than just locking up. After the store was officially closed, Marcus went to Matthews' office. The computer was password protected, but Sarah's tech team had prepared for this. They'd given him a USB device that could bypass most business computer security. It took 20 minutes, but Marcus finally accessed Matthews' files. What he found was a treasure trove of evidence. Email chains between Matthews and Jake Morrison. Training documents marked confidential regional use. Only performance metrics that explicitly tracked how, effectively, each store discriminated against minority customers. One email from Jake Morrison made Marcus's blood boil. Our customer optimization strategy is exceeding expectations. Stores that fully implement the demographic protocols are seeing 20% higher profit margins. Corporate is impressed with our results but doesn't need to know our methods. Keep the advanced training materials restricted to store management only. Another email was even more explicit. The key is maintaining plausible deniability. Never put anything discriminatory in writing that could be seen by corporate HR. Use the code words we discussed. Premium customers instead of white customers. Optimization instead of discrimination. Demographic alignment instead of racial profiling. Marcus found dozens of these communications. A complete paper trail proving that Jake Morrison had designed and implemented a systematic discrimination network across the entire region. But the worst, discovery was a spreadsheet tracking individual store. Performance on what Morrison called demographic optimization, metrics. Stores were ranked on how effectively they steered minority customers away from expensive products and toward budget items. The Scottsdale store ranked second in the region. Marcus copied everything to his encrypted USB drive. Hundreds of documents, thousands of emails, video training materials that explicitly taught employees how to discriminate. As he prepared to leave, Marcus noticed one more folder labeled Future Expansion. Inside were plans to roll out the optimization system to other regions. Jake Morrison wasn't just discriminating in Arizona. He was planning to spread this system across the entire company. Marcus locked up the store and sat in his car for 10 minutes, processing what he'd discovered. This wasn't just a few bad employees. It was an organized effort to turn his company into a machine for discrimination. The next morning, Marcus called Sarah. I have everything we need: documents, emails, training materials, a complete system designed to discriminate against minority customers and employees. How high does it go? Jake Morrison designed and runs the whole thing, and he's planning to expand it company-wide. Sarah was quiet for a moment. What do you want to do? Marcus thought about Dr. Patricia Williams walking out of the store, about all the talented employees stuck in evening shifts, about customers being steered away from products they wanted and could afford. I want to confront Jake Morrison directly, but not as Marcus Johnson, the undercover employee. What do you mean? Set up a regional meeting. All the store managers. Make it seem like a routine business review. Then I'll show up as Marcus Williams, CEO. That's risky. What if Morrison tries to destroy evidence? Marcus smiled grimly. He can't destroy what's already been copied. Besides, I want to see his face when he realizes the boss has been watching all along. When do you want to do this? Next week. Friday afternoon. Let's see how Jake Morrison explains his optimization system to the man who signs his paychecks. Friday afternoon, Jake Morrison stood at the front of the Scottsdale TechWorld conference room, feeling confident. Around the table sat managers from 15 stores across Arizona. They were here for what Morrison called a performance excellence review. Gentlemen, Morrison began, clicking to his first slide, our region just posted the best quarterly numbers in company history. The managers applauded. Matthews from Scottsdale beamed with pride. Our customer optimization strategies are the reason for this success, Morrison continued. By focusing our efforts on premium customers, we've increased profit margins by 22%. Morrison clicked to the next slide, a chart showing sales by demographic categories. Of course, he didn't label it that way. The chart showed customer segment A versus customer segment B, but everyone in the room knew what it meant. Segment A, customers generate 85% of our premium sales, Morrison explained. That's why we focus our best associates and prime shift hours on serving this demographic. More applause. These managers had implemented Morrison's system across their stores. They were proud of their efficiency. Morrison was about to click to his next slide when the conference room door opened. Sarah Chen walked in, followed by two people Morrison didn't recognize, a woman in a business suit and a man with a briefcase. Sorry to interrupt, Sarah said politely, but we need to add someone to this meeting. Morrison's smile tightened. Sarah was corporate HR. Her unexpected appearance was never good news. Sarah, this is a regional operations meeting, Morrison said. Perhaps we could schedule time later to discuss whatever corporate needs. Actually, I think you'll want to hear this right now, Sarah replied. The door opened again. Marcus Williams walked in. But this wasn't the Marcus Johnson who had been working at the Scottsdale store. This was Marcus Williams, CEO, in a perfectly tailored suit and polished shoes, clean-shaven, no glasses. Unmistakably, the man whose photo hung in every TechWorld store. The room went completely silent. Matthew's face turned white. He recognized Marcus now, the employee he'd been managing for a month. Morrison recovered first. Marcus, what a surprise! We were just reviewing our excellent quarterly performance. Yes, I heard, Marcus said, his voice cold. Customer optimization strategies? Very interesting terminology. Marcus walked to the front of the room and gestured for Morrison to step aside. Sarah, please show them what we've been reviewing in corporate. Sarah connected her laptop to the projector. Morrison's slides disappeared, replaced by screenshots of the customer profiling system. For the past month, Marcus said, I've been working undercover in our Scottsdale store as Marcus Johnson, sales associate. Several managers shifted uncomfortably in their chairs. Matthews looked like he might be sick. During that time, I discovered something that goes against everything TechWorld stands for, Marcus continued. A systematic effort to discriminate against minority customers and employees. Sarah clicked to the next slide, excerpts from Morrison's emails about demographic optimization. Morrison's confidence finally cracked. Marcus, those communications have been taken out of context. We've simply developed more efficient ways to serve our customers. Efficient? Marcus asked. Is that what you call steering black customers away from premium products they can afford? Sarah clicked again. Video footage appeared on screen, Tyler refusing to show Dr. Patricia Williams the laptop she wanted. Is that what you call scheduling minority employees for the worst shifts regardless of their performance? Another click. The scheduling system showing clear racial patterns. Is that what you call training employees to use coded language to hide discrimination? The training materials appeared on screen, pages of instructions on how to profile customers by race without explicitly saying so. Morrison straightened his tie, trying to regain control. These are business optimization techniques based on proven customer behavior patterns. Proven? Marcus asked. Let me tell you what I proved. Marcus clicked to his own slide, sales data from his Undercover month. Dr. Patricia Williams, the customer Tyler dismissed, came back the following week. She bought not one but 3 Aurora Pro X7 laptops for her daughter and 2 nieces. $9,000 in sales that Tyler missed because of his racism. The managers stared at the screen. James Mitchell, the black customer who was steered toward budget tablets, returned the next day. He bought a complete home office setup, including our most expensive desktop. $4,000 in sales lost to discrimination. Marcus clicked through several more examples. In just 1 month, the Scottsdale store lost over $30,000 in sales due to discrimination. Multiply that across 15 stores in 12 months. You cost this company millions of dollars with your optimization strategy. The room was completely silent now. But the financial cost isn't the real problem, Marcus continued, his voice rising. You turned my company into an engine for racism. You corrupted everything TechWorld was supposed to stand for. Morrison made one last attempt to defend himself. Marcus, every decision we made was focused on maximizing profitability. If certain demographic groups don't typically purchase premium products... Stop, Marcus said firmly. Just stop. I have 30 hours of recordings, hundreds of documents, thousands of emails. You created an organized system to discriminate against people based on their race. There's no justifying that. Sarah clicked to the final slide, a legal document. Jake Morrison, you're fired, Marcus announced. Effective immediately. Security will escort you from the building. Morrison's face went red. You can't fire me for increasing profits? The board will never approve this. The board already approved it, Marcus replied. 3 hours ago. Unanimously. The security guard Sarah had brought stepped forward. Furthermore, Marcus continued, the company is filing complaints with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission and the Department of Justice. Your discrimination system broke federal law. As security escorted Morrison out, Marcus turned to face the remaining managers. For everyone else in this room, you have a choice. You can be part of fixing this problem, or you can follow Jake out the door. Matthews raised his hand tentatively. What exactly are you asking us to do? Admit what happened. Help us identify every employee and customer who was harmed. Cooperate fully with retraining and system changes. Make this right. Marcus clicked to a new slide showing TechWorld's original mission statement. When I started this company, I promised it would judge people by their talents and character, not their race or background. You helped break that promise. Now you're going to help me keep it. Over the next 3 hours, Marcus led the managers through a complete confession. They admitted to implementing the discrimination system, identified employees who had been treated unfairly, listed customers who had been steered away from products. The most shocking revelation came from the Phoenix store manager. The customer profiling system is in 60 stores now, he admitted. Jake was rolling it out as a best practice across multiple regions. Marcus felt his stomach drop. How many employees know about this? Maybe 200. All the store managers and senior sales staff. The scope was even worse than Marcus had imagined. But he also saw opportunity. If the system was this widespread, fixing it would send a message across the entire retail industry. Here's what we're going to do, Marcus announced. Every store using this system will shut it down immediately. We're implementing a new training program focused on equal service for all customers. And we're creating an oversight committee with real power to prevent this from happening again. Sarah handed out packets to each manager. These are your new procedures. Transparent scheduling systems, objective performance metrics, regular audits by corporate. Marcus stood up. But the most important change is this. 50% of the oversight committee will be frontline employees. People who experience discrimination will now have the power to stop it. Matthews looked confused. You mean sales associates will have authority over managers? I mean talented people who were held back by racism will now help run the company, Marcus replied. Starting with Marcus Johnson. The managers looked puzzled. Marcus Johnson, the undercover identity I used, is getting promoted to Regional Director of Fair Employment Practices. He'll report directly to me and have authority to investigate any store at any time. Marcus smiled. It turns out Marcus Johnson is very good at spotting discrimination.